Rocky Oaks is a park in the Santa Monica Mountains. It has quite a variety of very interesting trails. We arrived at the park entrance fairly early on a Saturday morning and found the parking lot completely empty. At one end of the parking area, we found this bulletin board with information about the park and also a trail map. And as you can see, there are a bunch of options for a hike. But we're going to make a loop hike, shown by the arrows on this map, starting out in a westerly direction. And this will take us westerly and northerly to a short branch trail to an overlook point. And from there we'll continue northeasterly to where the Rocky Oaks Loop Trail joins Canaan Road. And from here we'll go back southerly, passing by a pond, and then over through an oak forest back to our starting point. And so here we go, starting off in the parking area along the Rocky Oaks Loop Trail. The trail begins by wending its way down through a wooded corridor. We found this trail to be really in very good shape, and also a quite pleasant walk. And then as we begin to break out into open country, Jack stops a minute to have his pic taken. A lot of this area really is quite open, mainly because European settlers brought agriculture to this area. We also noticed this interesting looking rock outcropping nearby. And then we noticed a number of rock building foundations here and there, left over, no doubt, from those agricultural days. But then it was on up along the trail, as Dale does here, up along a side hill. As we work our way on up, we get another view of that very prominent rock outcropping. And we also begin to get a better view of the area around us. Including some equestrians in the open area below us. And then came the Overlook Trail, which actually consisted of steps leading up to the Overlook area. And so Jack wends his way on up there to see what the view will be like. Well, this area was once a working cattle ranch, but it was purchased by the National Park Service in 1981. So hopefully it's going to remain in its natural state. And then we reached the lookout area. Unfortunately, it was a somewhat overcast day, but we did get some pretty good views, including this one of this part of the Santa Monica Mountains. Certainly not what you'd call a wilderness area, but certainly quite pleasant to look at anyway. And then from the lookout area, the trail continues northerly up towards Canaan Road, through mostly quite open country, where we reverse ourselves and start heading back south. And along the way, we see ample evidence that these trails are used by equestrians, not only because of hoof prints, but also having to dodge their presence. And then we reached a fork in the trail where we decided to continue on by using the pond trail. And we also ran across these equestrians that we'd seen from up above. And after chatting with them for a bit, we noticed a rather huge-looking building on a hilltop in the distance. Well, actually, it's a private mansion with, of all things, a helicopter for access. Ah, yes, such a tough way to live. But then was on to the pond, which was somewhat of a surprise, as it was almost completely dry. This is a man-made lake left over from the cattle ranching days, and you can see by the earthen dam at the end of it. And then we headed down towards a heavy growth of oak trees. And there we found a number of picnic tables under the branches of the trees. This would be a quite neat place to have a hot summer day's picnic. There's also an area with a small amphitheater for ranger presentations. And from here it was a fairly short ways down the path to get back to the parking area where we started from. After a hike of, perhaps 2.5 miles with not too much in the way of elevation change.